How's it going, Summoners? Welcome back to another ProGuides video. The next part of Riot's 2021 roadmap was posted on the league's Chinese website, so we're here to give you the breakdown of everything we know so far. We've got more updates on the MUNDO rework, along with some details about the next few champions, so let's just jump right into it. Before we get started, just a small disclaimer that there might be some minor differences in detail when the roadmap is posted in NA. Riot even responded on the Reddit thread saying that they'd respond to our messages in a week when the post is officially released. But that won't stop us from diving into the roadmap. Alright, so let's pick things up from the last roadmap release in the beginning of the year. We've got some new updates and changes, including some adjustments to future champions. In January, we learned about Viego and the spread of the Black Mist across Runeterra. We already know that this year has an ongoing story, and it seems like Riot doesn't plan to change the direction of the lore. Gwen is a focal point in the current story of Runeterra, but there hasn't been much surrounding her and her purpose. Is she here to stop Viego, or will she side with me? While we aren't sure just yet, we'll need to wait and see what kind of champions are coming over the next few months. But before we talk about some of the new champions, let's talk about the big purple guy in the room. Yep, MUNDO. It's actually been a pretty long time since our last update on MUNDO, but we finally got some new details about his design, lore, and skins. Like every rework, MUNDO is getting totally new lines, which means he might have a completely different personality. According to Riot, MUNDO will be a bit smarter than he is now. Right now, MUNDO has some random lines that don't show anything about him. He's just an outdated musclehead, and it's hard to tell that he used to be a doctor. Even though Riot is giving MUNDO some new voice lines and lore, he won't go too far from what he is right now. He'll still be a huge monster that goes where he pleases, but this time he might speak in complete sentences. Moving on to his skins, Riot is actually finished with a few of his major skins, including the splash art for what appears to be his Rageboard skin. There are also some huge updates to corporate MUNDO, including him speeding away in a nice-looking car. Personally, updated skins are my favorite part of champion reworks. It's awesome to see old, outdated models turn into something totally different in the game. And that leads me to our question of the day. If you could rework a legendary or ultimate skin, which one would you change? Personally, I feel like Bloodlord Vladimir could really use some love, and right now it just doesn't look great when compared to skins like Cosmic Devourer Vlad. But that's enough about me. I want to know what you guys think, and I really do read your comments, so leave them down below. MUNDO's rework is just around the corner, but let's move on to the rest of the 2021 roadmap. Riot already mentioned that there's another Sentinel of Light in town, and we're finally learning more about this champion. They're expected to be a mid-lane ADC, but not like Tristana, Lucian, or Corki. Tristana and Lucian are seen in the mid-lane just because of their dueling potential and almost unbeatable lane phase, but they weren't designed for mid. The next Sentinel of Light will have a kit that resembles both an ADC and a mid laner. More specifically, there's a big emphasis on roaming and pressure from mid, and that this new champion will most likely have some of that. The goal here is to spread out the diversity of the mid lane, and hopefully players that enjoy assassins or divers will still enjoy this kind of champion. Regarding the lore of this champion, we're seeing a lot of pictures of sandy, desert-looking areas. It's pretty clear that the next Sentinel of Light will be in Shurima, but how will Senna and Lucian find them? I can't wait to see where Riot goes with the story, and hopefully we'll get some updates soon. Alright, so before we talk about another new champion, we need to talk about the YORDLE artillery mage that was mentioned in the last roadmap. Originally, Riot was supposed to release this YORDLE before the mid lane ADC, but design and implementation has pushed the YORDLE out of development. She's moving from a fire mage to a more traditional mage, so Riot has decided to postpone her for a bit. It's important to clarify that Riot is not getting rid of this YORDLE artillery mage. For now, it seems like they want to take a step back from her development cycle and reframe their focus. But Riot did confirm a couple of things. She's still a YORDLE, she's still an artillery mage, and she still hates characters that move around too much. It sounds a lot like her description from the beginning of the year, so I'm glad Riot is sticking with their announcements and changing the schedule a bit. Honestly, I would be pretty disappointed if they released this mage only for her to end up like Seraphine. Even with her postponement, this YORDLE mage will still play an important part in Viego's story. Apparently, Viego awoke this YORDLE on his own, and this might be a purely evil YORDLE. I think it would be awesome to see a truly evil take on a YORDLE, and no, Veigar doesn't count, and Teemo doesn't either. Now that we've talked about all the stuff that's happening to League in the near future, let's talk about the Udyr rework. After winning the poll back in the beginning of the year, Riot started planning new concepts and ideas for the Soul Walker. They're still in early stages of design, so we don't have a lot of details quite yet. Riot did say that we'll hopefully get some information in a few months. For now, we were given some sketches of concept art. There are some pretty cool directions that Riot is trying out, from the grisly untamed shaman to someone who works with spirits and gods directly. I'm really excited to hear more about Udyr, and it'll be really refreshing after how obnoxious he's been in the meta. Before we wrap up this video, Riot also teased another champion, one that we didn't really hear about at all in the beginning of the year. Viego's story will wrap up before the end of the year, so who will be the first champion after such a huge Runeterra event? It seems like we'll be getting an ADC, this time in the bot lane, and the art included looks like a device from ZAUN. With MUNDO's rework closer than ever, I feel like this is the best time to focus on ZAUN and the story around it. It's one of the regions that we don't really think about, and I hope Riot decides to give ZAUN some love as well. And that's all we have for you this time. I'm sure you guys are just as excited as we are, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any news, updates, or tier lists. Also, don't forget to answer our question of the day down in the comments below. I do really read them and I enjoy it. And let us know what you think about League's future champions. I hope you guys have a fabulous, fabulous day and stay safe and eat a cookie. Okay, goodbye.